Councilmember Kolb.
Here.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Here.
Councilmember Parsons.
Here.
Mayor Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Budichevsky.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, good evening. We have an agenda in front of us. I'm looking for a motion for that agenda to be passed. Olga?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Nancy. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, first we're going to start with our consent agenda. At this time, I'll read the consent agenda into the record. It's approval of the minutes from the following meetings. Council meeting from September 17th, 2018, and the work session from that same date. Approval of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the city council. Those are on file in her office. And approval of resolution accepting the following donations. We've got 4 of them. $2,500 from the Crystal Fund for Community Progress for the Becker Park Playground, and $600 from Crystal Lions for the Crystal Frolics, $50 from Tony Hawk Realty for Becker Park Playground, and $5,000 from VFW Post 494 for Crystal Little League Assistance Program. Thank you for those donations. And approval of resolutions vacating the drainage and utility easement with Holmquist and Tschudy Addition at 5747 and 5751 West Broadway. And then approval of resolution approving the plans and specifications authorizing advertising for bids for the Winnetka Pond dredging project. That is our consent agenda. Looking for a motion on that one. Anyone? Oh, Julie.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
All right, thank you. Olga?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, is there anyone here wishing to speak during open forum? Seeing anyone approach, no hands up. Nobody here wishing to speak during open forum. We will skip right by that then and move on to our regular agenda. We have a fairly short regular agenda in front of us. I don't know if we'll be breaking any records tonight, but we will get started right away. First item is the approval of disbursements of $25,000 or greater. I will read those into the record at this time. First item is the IRS for the federal and FICA withholding taxes for pay date 9/21/18. That amount is $52,927. Logis for July and August support services, $59,220. Paulda & Sons, Inc. for Phase 14 and Phase 16 street reconstruction, $97,939. And Para for the employee and city required contribution, same pay date as before, 9/21/18. That is for $52,461. Total disbursements of $25,000 or greater is $262,548.62. Is there anybody wishing to discuss any of these items from the council? Seeing nobody, looking for a motion?
Move approval.
Thanks, Jeff. Looking for a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Elizabeth. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Next, we have considering an ordinance amending Chapter 9 and a resolution and summary publication. Tonight, it's, earlier I said it's all about Troy. Troy's going to go through probably I think it's the rest of the agenda, walking us through. So we'll start with Chapter 9. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. This is an amendment primarily to Chapter 9 of your code. You've seen this, I believe, at least 3 times in work session. This was before you formally for a first reading at your September 4th meeting. That was adopted, and now it's before you for second reading and consideration for final adoption. This is primarily an updating of your emergency management provisions, which are currently referred to as civil defense, to match, frankly, changes in state law that have happened over the years. Some updates from your fire department related to fire prevention. The more substantive changes that you've approved or have talked about relate to animal control. A lot of that, frankly, is focusing on licensing requirements, particularly for additional animals, difference between commercial licensing and other types of animal licensing. And then we've had quite a conversation regarding hazardous substances. That's twice now I've messed that word up, so I'll just let that one go. And primarily, the approach that's taken on that, as I've mentioned before, is a listing of things that are not to be ingested, I guess, recreationally. The new approach that's being taken, frankly, matches a direction that the state has taken, and allowing the council to stay ahead, or at least try to keep up with the curve on those things by allowing you to add to the list by resolution rather than having to amend the code every time there's a new hazardous substance that folks are ingesting. So with that, again, this is before you for second reading and adoption. If you're comfortable with it, otherwise I'd be happy to answer any questions the council may have.
All right, thank you, Troy. Are there any questions relating to this? Any comments? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
I'll make
Nancy?
a motion to adopt the following ordinance, number 2018-04, amending Chapter 9 of the Crystal City Code regarding public safety, including emergency management, fire prevention, animal control, and intoxicating inhaled substances.
Excellent. Looking for a second. Elizabeth? Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Now we have a summary language motion as well. Would you like to hit that one as well?
Oh, absolutely. I'll make a motion to adopt the following resolution, 2018-116, resolution approving summary language for publication of ordinance number 2018-04.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second. Julie?
I can second that.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. For the next item, we are looking at amending Chapter 12 and 11. Troy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. As indicated, this is a sort of a package deal here. Since Chapter 10 deals with general licensing provisions and 11 speaks then specifically about the particular businesses that are licensed. So you have Chapters 10 and 11 before you for a first reading. Again, you've seen this, I think, perhaps 4 times in a work session where you've went through and reviewed the different provisions on this. And frankly, this is, I think, reflective of both the comments that you received from the task force as well as the general direction this council has taken on trying to really examine whether or not regulations are needed in a particular case. And that resulted in this particular instance to a number of licensed businesses being removed from Chapter 11, recognizing that essentially these particular businesses no longer needed to be licensed. And so what you have before you is a Chapter 10 that, again, speaks generally of licensing requirements. We did, in furtherance of the task force direction, to as often as possible try to make things simpler and easier to read and navigate. We added a chart listing all the different businesses, included lines that talked about primary licensing requirements, including those that require supplying a tax return, as discussed at the last work session, and then also reference to where within Chapter 11 one can turn to for more specific information related to the particular type of license. We also included a reference that the one business or type of business that's not regulated in 10 or 11, or specifically in 11, I should say, are alcohol, which is in 12, which will be coming before you in not too terribly long. So with that, the other thing that was done in Chapter 11 was removing some of the specific penalty provisions in there. The current code lists specific dollar amounts and penalties. The thought of the council and direction was to remove that and instead insert that in Appendix 4. So again, like we mentioned with the other chapter, rather than having to amend the ordinance every time there's a change in that, you can instead have a more regular review and updating process as you do with the other amounts that are reflected in Appendix 4. So this, again, is up for first reading. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you, Troy. Are there any additional questions? Additional meaning we had some before, but at this point in time, any comments? I have one comment. Some of the licenses that we've removed, it's not that only that we didn't think they were necessary. A lot of them had another agency also licensing them, whether it be Hennepin County or the state, and we felt that our licenses weren't adding any value to the business, and that's part of why some of those fell off. So just a little more in depth on that piece. Any other comments? All right. Looking for a motion on the first reading.
I can.
Julie?
I'll make it a motion approving ordinance, amending ordinance chapters 10 and 11 of the Crystal City Code related to the general licensing requirements and requirements for certain businesses.
All right, thank you.
I'll second.
Nancy?
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you. I should have looked the other way when I said Nancy, because that's what I just did to Julie. I apologize. All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. That is our regular agenda. I'm going to read some announcements now. We have some, our next council meeting is going to be October 11th at 6:30.
It's a work session.
Work session, excuse me. Work
At
session
least you
Thursday,
saw it.
October 11th at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room A. Special materials drop-off day is Saturday, October 13th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and that's in Brooklyn Park Operations and Maintenance Facility. That's 8300 Noble Avenue. The next council meeting will be Tuesday, October 16th, October 16th at 7 o'clock, and that's at City Hall. Crystal Business Association meets on Wednesday, October 17th, 8:30 a.m. And this time they will be meeting at the Near Food Shelf at 5209 West Broadway. The League of Women's Voters is holding a Crystal Council City Candidate Forum. That's on Thursday, October 18th at 7 p.m. here at City Hall. Look for that to be played. I believe it's live as well as rebroadcasts of that. So you'll have to check CCX for that. Metropolitan Airport Commission, that's MAC, is holding a public meeting on Tuesday, October 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Crystal Community Center. And that's to take public comment on the environment assessment worksheet and process for the right sizing of the Crystal Airport. Girl Scouts and Boy Scout troops are invited to come and lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Just contact city staff if you're interested or for more information. A reminder that city council meetings and work sessions are open to the public. You're welcome to come to either of them, and current and previous meetings are also available online for your viewing and listening at www.crystalmn.gov. Any other announcements that we need to add to this? Nancy?
There was one, I'm trying to find it here, and it might be too late, but Sarah, you're here. Was there a fire recruitment? Was it like the fire version of Explorers that was going on, an informational session?
Yes, there was.
It was already? Okay, never mind.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Oh, I have a quick one.
Yeah.
Sorry for the Minnesota long goodbye, but I just wanted to shout out for the Run for Rocco. It was a great success. And Stephanie, would you mind giving a little update or recap?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilmember LaRoche. I'm actually glad you called on me because today earlier I was with City Manager Ann Norris. We were at an event, and she jokingly said to someone next to us, the chief always likes to get up and talk in front of the council. So I love that you called on me. So anyway, she'll be proud too. So our Run for Rocco was this last Saturday, and it was a tremendous success. We had about 38 runners, two of whom are in this room, Councilmember LaRoche and also Deputy Chief Brian Hubbard and his wife ran it. So that was excellent.
Thank you
And
for saying ran, but I really walked it.
You walked briskly.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And a kudos to our Crime Prevention Board. Pat Bedell, who sits on our board, is the primary person who actually runs the entire event, and we just thank her for all she's done in the whole board. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Chief.
You bet.
All right. With that, looking for a motion to adjourn. Nancy?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Second,
I'll
Olga?
second that.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
All night.
We are adjourned.
That's funny.
So sorry.